Well, you saw earlier the Alexandra Magistrates Court denying bail to Katiso KT Molefe, accused of being the mastermind behind the assassination of DJ Sumbody, Oupa Sefoka. Molefe is accused of other crimes, including murder. The state has argued he's dangerous and has no regard for human life. He's also implicated in the murder of their technician, Armand Swart, who had, from what we understand, discovered that Molefe was involved in a syndicate that was looting state institutions through tenders. Ben Theron runs Whistleblower House. Ben, good afternoon to you. We've seen so many attacks on whistleblowers in the last few years. We see someone being shot dead in an organized way, like we saw in the DJ Sumbody case, and we almost get a sense that this person must have been involved in blowing the whistle. I imagine you're quite relieved Molefe was denied bail today.
Let me start off by just confirming that Molefe is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Having said that, the magistrate is very scathing in his comments. He believes that a decent case has not been made out, and therefore Molefe will stay in custody until the trial starts, which we welcome.
Do you believe, and I mean, you're right, and thank you for making the point that someone is innocent until proven guilty. I sometimes wonder about these cases, and magistrates, as you point out, have to follow the law, but we've seen quite a few cases where people are released on bail and all sorts of things happen after that. Do you think maybe we need to look at the question of bail a little bit more closely, particularly in cases involving crimes of violence and what appear to be organized assassinations?
What we have found, if you follow the cases, in many instances, the evidence is not necessarily put in front of the judge or the magistrate in this particular case. The evidence is put poorly, and the defense puts up a strong case that says, no, until I'm in trial, I'm not going to put stuff forward. The evidence at the moment is weak, and therefore I qualify. And then the judge leans over and say the individual's right need to be protected, and they allow that. 2 or 3 days later, people die. And the difficulty we have in South Africa is because of the high crime rate and people get murdered. I mean, you could see yesterday with the MPs, the DA MPs in Cape Town. That wasn't a hit. That was normal criminality. So when somebody gets released on bail and somebody dies, it's very difficult for the state then to put those one and one together, although the suspicions are there. The difficulty we have is with the high crime rate, which we need to address anyway, makes it difficult to make that a direct link immediately.
Ben, I mean, you know better than I what happened during the state capture era, and we saw promises after that to protect whistleblowers, and we were lucky to have some of the whistleblowers with us able to testify at the Zondo Commission. But is government and the police, are they really living up to their promises to protect whistleblowers? It seems in many cases whistleblowers are never made whole, by which I mean their lives after blowing the whistle are so often poorer than they were before they blew the whistle.
If they have lives, that must be stated. And you're quite right. The whistleblower and their families suffer tremendously because they get isolated, they get kicked out of a job, and the cases drag on for years. I mean, even today, in the last few weeks, the case in Bloemfontein restarted again. It is extremely slow, and the state does not have the capacity, and sometimes we wonder if they have the appetite to, in fact, go into this and make sure that whistleblowers. The president promised earlier this year in his State of the Nation address that this year, before the close of business, I can't guarantee that it's a calendar year or financial year, the whistleblower issue will be addressed through proper legislation. We have not seen that yet, and it takes a long time for that to run through the processes. So we are very concerned, number one, about the appetite, the speed at which things are happening. There is a national dialogue taking place, but the reality of life is, as we sit here today, whistleblowers are left to their own devices. Bearing in mind that the state particularly protects witnesses, and there's a difference between witnesses and whistleblowers. When somebody comes forward and makes an announcement that says something is wrong, etc., that's a whistleblower. Only when a case is enrolled in court and the NPA then puts them into witness protection do they actually qualify for protection, and they get it. And it's not an easy process because you are isolated from your family and you are unable to make contacts. It's a very isolated, a very lonely journey to undertake. And the Whistleblower House tries to make that slightly easier in what we do for whistleblowers.
I wonder if this issue is about to sort of enter center stage again. We're going to see a lot more claims coming about the police in the next few months. We'll have testimony at Parliament and through a commission of inquiry into the claims made by Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, against Senzo Mchunu, who is the suspended police commissioner. And I have to tell you, Ben, if I had particular information one way or another against somebody involved in the police in KwaZulu-Natal, I can guarantee you I would not be brave enough to stick my hand up and tell people. Is this having a chilling effect, the fact that whistleblowers know that actually their lives are quite cheap and therefore I'm not going to blow the whistle?
Can you imagine the head of police, the provincial head of police in KwaZulu-Natal, requiring protection from the people that he's working with? And that's the reality. Can you imagine a normal person or a lower ranking person in the police or in the community willing to stand up? I don't think so. We need those people to feel protected, to come forward with information so we can clean up the systems. South Africa is a broken environment. The police system, the justice system are all very fragile at the moment. And we need to strengthen them. We need to uncover the rot and then address the issues. We need people to come forward. I don't know, and we haven't been in contact with the commission starting on 1st of September, but I'm hoping that they can at least provide protection, because the environment where they're working in at the moment is extremely dangerous. Zondo Commission, there were lots of threats behind the scenes. This is touching at the heart of corruption in the area where people are, in fact, armed, and they're licensed to carry arms.
Ben Theron, some powerful points. Thank you very much indeed, sir, the CEO of Whistleblower House.